Hey, what's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brendan Abbott, with my two co-hosts. To my left is Rashad Pennell. To my right is Colin Lewis. We're coming back to y'all after a week-long spring break, a break that was well needed. Very blessed one. Very blessed. Very blessed. Very blessed. How did y'all enjoy y'all spring breaks, Colin? Let me hear how you enjoyed yours. What you do on spring break, bro?
I just volunteered at the local Boys and Girls Club. I'm back home, seeing my family. Probably be the last time I seen them for a minute since I'm be over here for summer and for and for the fall. So I wanted to see them one last time.
All right, how about you, Rashad?
We made that journey down there to Florida. Friends, chilling. Doing activities in Florida, then going to nightlife in Daytona. Chilling on the beach. Getting back on the Snapchat though. I made it back. I made my return. Made my return to the Snapchat.
So I got back to the Snapchat living. I like to hear it.
But it was a good time, good fun, interesting time up in Florida.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So for everybody who's watching, I mean, you guys, tune in right here on YouTube, on Rabble TV, on Spreaker, and comment. Let us know what y'all did for spring break, or if for those of you who went on spring break, and for those who haven't gone yet, let us know what you plan on doing for spring break, so we can all share our spring break stories together. But
yeah, we trying to hear the crazy wild story. The stories where you upside down on the balcony, stuff like that. We want to hear those stories.
We don't want to hear that story.
Huh?
Wow. I said I don't want to hear that story.
Why not?
That sounds kind of scary.
Hey, but if they're here to tell it though. So you know what I mean? If they
See, Colin
they came back alive.
Yeah, Colin don't want to hear about the Project X stories. Like he doesn't want to hear about those. Colin, those are the best stories though, man. When a guy. Shout out to my friend. I don't know if he wants me telling him this. I won't name drop you, bro. But he one time told me that he partied so hard that one time he woke up in the bathroom. And there was a girl in the bathroom with him, but he woke up with his trousers like on the other side of the bathroom, and then the trash can was by him, and he was like in a pile of throw up.
So he missed the trash can though. He was in
he was just
tragic.
He was just knocked out in it, and I was just like, bro, how did you take such a forceful L? And he was just like, man,
that sounds like a W to me, actually.
A W? A W?
So you'd rather hear the dude throw up and lay in his throw up, but you don't want to hear the upside down balcony story. I mean, if this dude throwing up and missed the trash can, I mean, obviously he blacked out throwing up. So I mean,
Colin, if you're face down in your own throw up, don't you think you could possibly suffocate in it?
Hey, been there, did that.
Hey, get your life together, bro.
Right, get yourself together.
We don't take L's like that. We take L's.
Hey, I hit the trash can,
but we don't take L's like that.
Get yourself together.
You hit it though.
Yeah,
but you just said you laid down there too.
You know how pissed I'd be if somebody threw up on the side of my trash can?
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you're pretty much telling me when you say I hit it though. I hit.
Oh no, it was my trash can though.
It don't matter whose trash can it was you missed.
That's disgusting either way.
Hey, forget it. Hey, get the sports, man. Get the sports, man. Get the sports.
It was my trash can, so it's okay. You had to clean it up eventually.
Nah, I had to pass the bag in there.
Oh, whatever, man. Whatever. You disgust me. For everybody watching who wants to call in, the number 757-683-4405. You want to call in and tell us your college type stories and give us your take on spring break, or even join in on our debates and our discussions for today. You can call into that number, and also tweet us at our Twitter handle KBR_sports, and where we can read your comments live during the show. And also don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel at KBR Sports, so you can see our past shows and also watch shows that we put up from today and other shows from previously. But to get into the sports talks, actually, the topics that we're going to be talking about today are going to consist of the NCAA bracket. Actually, they just released that yesterday. There was actually a little bit of controversy with that release, actually, but we'll get a little bit into that. And then also talking about LSU and how they didn't make the NCAA tournament and how they withdrew themselves from postseason play in totality. We'll get into all that because pretty much institutes the fact that a lot of people's consensus best player in college basketball isn't going to be in the tournament. So we'll get into all that. And then also we'll get into the Oklahoma City Thunder, who lost another game Now that makes it they're 4-8 coming out of the All-Star break, and now they've lost another game after having a lead going into the fourth quarter. So we'll talk about them, and then also our individual biggest free agent splashes of the NFL free agency so far. We'll talk about all that, but so yesterday, after finally the NCAA tournament bracket was officially made, and there was a little bit of controversy with that because the tournament of the bracket was released because normally they had the tournament, the bracket show on CBS to show who all made it into the tournament and everything, what seeds everybody is, but the bracket got released early. And the NCAA is now looking into it to see how it got released early, how it got leaked, because it got posted on Twitter about an hour or so before the show. And I got an alert to my phone about it. And that's how Syracuse coach Jim Boeheim found out that they have made the tournament, because he was alerted that about the bracket being released on the internet. He was like, wait, but the show hasn't even, like, we haven't even started watching and when they started releasing each individual team, it was entirely identical to the bracket that had been released on Twitter about an hour or 2 hours beforehand. So that the NCAA is looking into that now. But guys, we look at the tournament now. You see UNC is the number 1 seed for the East. You look at Kansas being the number 1 seed for the South. The West, is it Virginia for West? Virginia's for the West, and Midwest is Oregon. So do you guys think they got it right with the seedings? And because Michigan State is number 2, is number 2 seed. And they're in the same region as Virginia, right? Yeah. So and then some people are arguing that you could argue that Michigan State should have been a number 1 or number 2. Michigan State. So some people argue they could have been the number 1 seed because some of the games they dropped earlier was when Denzel Valentine was hurt.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were upset about that, and some teams didn't even get in that were higher on RPI than some teams, like a Monmouth didn't get in. But you see a team like Syracuse, Vanderbilt, they got in, and they were lower on the RPI scale, and it seems as though that's the scale they used to rate who was going to get into the tournament. So, y'all, let me hear y'all think. What do you guys think about this NCAA bracket? Rashad, let me hear. What do you think about it?
I'm a little hype actually that 2 teams came out the ACC at the number 1 bracket with UVA and UNC, because I love some UNC now. We did coming in, had a strong tournament, had a strong showing to get the number 1 seed. I don't agree with UVA still being the number 1 seed when they were fighting for number 1 seed. When you have someone like Michigan State who's in the same region as them, who's pretty much had a better season when fully healthy. Like you have a lot. I guess you can say. I mean, it's different because you have a strong ACC conference where you have a team that's dominating like UVA is. So, and you look at, which is actually Michigan State didn't have an easy road to to the tournament this year either. But I mean, I feel like kind of like the way the committee was going this year, they snubbed Michigan State and gave it to UVA. But I feel like it's because UVA is an ACC team that made it to the tournament championship game. I mean, ultimately lost to UNC.
But how rare is that we see a team win its conference championship and not be picked as the number 1 seed?
See, that's what's crazy. That's what's crazy. But I mean, when you think about it, there's only 4 number 1 seeds. There is.
Yeah.
And I just I honestly don't think Oregon should have been a number 1 seed. I think it should have been more so Michigan State. I mean,
a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel UVA. I mean, UVA had a good showing this year. They, like I said, they did play. They had some bad losses as well, but a lot of these top teams had bad losses. I just feel like Oregon kind of had it easier in the Pac-12 than someone like Michigan State would or UVA would.
Yeah.
So I'm just I'm looking at it like, all right, there's your number 1 seeds. I don't agree with Oregon being there. I think Michigan State should be there, but it is what it is. Now Virginia for the 3rd straight year got to go against Michigan State to make it to the national championship, which automatically puts that as the hardest bracket.
Yeah.
The hardest region, because you have Michigan State in there with Tom Izzo coaching that team, with that team being one of the most complete teams in college basketball. So I look at it like that. Now, man, this Monmouth team, man.
Monmouth can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break. Everybody knows you want to see them in there with the celebrating from the bench. That's what we want to see. We want to see that, and we can't see it this year unless we see it in the NIT.
Yeah,
but it's not the same. You want to see it on the big dance. You just want to see a 3-get shot and the camera go immediately to the bench. That's what you want to see.
And it's amazing that I'll say after.
I'll go. What you gotta say, man? What you got?
No, I'll go after. You want me to go before you?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, but the thing that amazes me is because Monmouth, I mean, you would think in a year that Louisville and SMU are banned from playing in the postseason play, that Monmouth would have got in.
So, that's what I'm saying. You would think that like you just took away two of the premier teams that make the tournament.
Yeah,
and now you add in two other teams, and then you're gonna take somebody out like that.
I look at it, and Monmouth's schedule was harder than Vanderbilt. I mean, Vanderbilt did play some tough teams, but I looked at Monmouth's schedule. I'm like, their schedule was arguably better than Vanderbilt. They went 27-7, and I'm just sitting here. I'm like,
I mean, you can even say the same for Michigan. Like, they scraped by, but I mean, did you see? I think they got a 10th seed.
Yeah.
For barely getting in. I'm like, what? Like, you give them a 10th seed
and last night when John Calipari was on
ESPN, he was on ESPN with the committee.
Yeah, and he was saying how he just doesn't understand how pretty much that the selection process is never consistent.
It's not.
You know what I mean? Like one day we're going off of RPI, one day we're going off of BPI. What is it going to be? One day we're going off of toughest wins, and it seems like it's never consistent. Like we never have a consistent.
They don't really have a good format for choosing.
Yeah, they don't. Because I mean, honestly, if you look at the format this year, look at what Maryland played. They're 1-5 against top 25 teams.
Yeah.
So that's huge losses, and the seed they got is a lot higher than these teams who's actually had great seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna take anything away from Maryland, but at the same time, I'm just like
Maryland was number 5.
Yeah, they're like you get a number 5 seed, and you went 1-5 against them. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right,
I mean, but some of these spots just been so questionable. Like you said, the Michigan State, they went 29-5, and Virginia still got the number 1 spot. So, like y'all said, it's definitely like the way they format this and choose the teams that's going to bracket is definitely inconsistent. They don't have a real set criteria, really. I mean, they look at the RPI, but still, they didn't go by it. So it's been a very unpredictable bracket. I think it's definitely gonna turn out into a great March month, though. Definitely gonna be some great games in here.
All right, so and I have a question for you, Rashad, because of what you said. One thing you said earlier. So you think the Michigan State bracket with Virginia is the tougher bracket or a tougher region
than Kansas region?
Than the Kansas region?
Because I mean, I'm looking at Kansas region, and you have a solid UConn team. Mm-hmm. You have a strong Maryland team who technically can't play against top 25 teams. You have an Arizona team. You have a Worcester State team, which potentially Worcester State, which is a good tournament team. You got a strong Miami. So I'm looking at a lot of good teams. That is a lot of good teams, but
Maryland hasn't played good against
top
25 teams, but they have the talent.
Yeah, they have the talent to win. You know, but see, it kind of goes how Melo Trumbo goes. So it's like, all right, if Melo Trumbo don't perform well, then you can't really rely on nobody else. Like this the championship game, Melo Trumbo shot awful. Imagine if
it came down to
the last shot, which he saw the shot. Two of it, something like that.
Yeah.
And then the last shot he threw up an awful layup. I mean, double clutch layup instead of just going into the contact. I mean, I understand because in a late game like that, on the last shot, you're not really gonna expect the ref to call a foul. But
for me, it's that region seems so difficult. You got them.
We got Villanova. You got Villanova too. But
it's so many tough teams because there's a lot. If you want, because if we're talking about how Melo Trumbo goes, Michigan State normally goes how Denzel Valentine goes. Oklahoma goes how Buddy Hield goes.
Yeah, but
how Kentucky goes, how Tyler
Ulis go. See, it's a guard oriented tournament this year.
You know what I'm saying? UNC, when Marcus Page plays great or even good basketball, UNC is unbeatable. When he plays good basketball, because their bigs always show up. Bryce Johnson always show up. Joel Berry's plays his game. UVA, their guards normally play.
Yeah, if Brogdon and Prentice.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They show up. And what did Malcolm
Brogdon.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If like players like that show up, their teams normally always play well. But normally those are players you got to worry about stopping. So when they get stopped, like Melo, because now everybody's just focused in on Melo Trumbo to an extreme degree, and he hasn't shot it considerably well. But these are shots he was hitting earlier in the season. Now he's shooting off. So I look at it, I'm just like, man, talent-wise. But the weird thing about that region is, to me, why is Kansas in the South if they were the number 1 overall seed? Why did they have to travel? Because Chicago is right there.
Yeah.
For Kansas. True. So why did they have to travel so far for their to play in their region? I didn't understand that. Like, why didn't they switch places with either UNC or Virginia, and they had to travel all the way to the South to play? I don't understand how they worked that. I don't know if they were.
See, I don't think they really like
one of those things.
kind of care where you play at, because I mean, as long as you're number one, honestly, that's what I want to know an answer to. I want to know how they pick the bracket.
Because
like,
Bill Self was on this morning. He said he never got an explanation for it.
Yeah.
Mike. I was watching to see if he got. They told him a reason.
I mean, but think about it, that's a longer trip to where you got to play. You know, they can be tired.
You lose practice time and all that stuff. But I don't think the committee really cares.
I mean, of course.
And they feel like, well, you got the number one seed, be grateful for it.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. But I saw that Joe Lenardi has said something about the lines of this was to kind of make up for Michigan State getting the number 2 seed, because now Michigan State doesn't have to travel that far, and they get a more friendly region and way to get to the championship. So they gave Michigan State, and Michigan State's travel isn't as bad as Kansas's. So, and then also they said that in a sense they kind of were picking the matchups, because they said if UNC had been in that region, instead it would have ended up in a UNC Villanova matchup rather than a Kansas Villanova or wherever have you matchup. So that's the reason why they kind of skewed it in that way. But
so I mean, showing out most of these teams possibilities making it to the
making it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, in a sense, where they got it set up, I mean, you still see great matchups coming in the Sweet 16 Elite 8 area, but you just don't like some of the matchups you expected to see. You're not seeing. Like one big matchup, I honestly think I should have saw was VCU Texas with Shaka Smart. That's and they have. I mean, they have a chance to play. They have a chance to play in the. I want to say all right. So in the round of 32. If Texas beat Texas A&M, that's what I have actually going around 32. That means VCU got to beat Oklahoma for them to meet in the Sweet 16. I mean, yeah, Sweet 16. So you could have had them earlier and stuff like that. It's just like matchups you see that potentially could have been if a 1 seed change or the way a team played. Like Texas, I feel like they finally did Texas justice by giving them a 6 seed, because Texas had it rough all season. I mean, they had great wins. But they just been under the committee. They just been like robbed every year. I mean, every week when in the top 8 polls. So I mean, I'm looking at it like I don't know, but I mean, I'm looking like. But after you said that, I'm looking at the region. But they just been for Michigan States and UVA's, and looking at it like you have a Purdue team, you have Iowa State's kind of like shaky, so I can't really. And yeah, you have a good disciplined Syracuse team, but I mean they barely made it too. But that's still a good disciplined team that you can't sleep on. And then you have a stingy Seton Hall team, which wasn't even ranked when they should have been.
See, and then this makes the question so much harder. Where is the upset?
Honestly, I don't.
You know, I saw some people picking Duke to lose to UNC Wilmington.
I saw that too, and I was like, you're telling me that UNC Wilmington gonna want it more? Like that's what I kept hearing. Well, the reason Duke's gonna lose because UNC Wilmington's gonna want it more
because they hungry.
And I'm like, I mean, when you're playing somebody against Grayson Allen that isn't a premier team. Yeah, Grayson Allen's about to cook.
Pretty much. Only problem with Duke to me is just their depth.
Yeah, they don't have it really. Like after the starting 5, honestly, you're looking at who can guarantee to get you points.
The injuries are just too much for Duke. I mean, so if y'all looked at the bracket right now, where do y'all see where would you put your money on a possible upset if you had to pick one?
In the round of 64.
Yeah,
Hawaii and California.
So Hawaii and California.
Man,
right there.
Because that Hawaii team is nice for a team that almost beat Texas A&M. I think they played Oklahoma in a tournament at the beginning of the season, almost won that game. Like they're a tough, stingy team. And you think about two of those losses are two of the top, I guess you'd say 2 of the top seeded teams.
Yeah.
And both games came down to like last second shots, overtime type stuff. So I'm saying that Hawaii team, like they're underseeded.
Okay.
And I see that's where one of the upsets is going to be.
All right. What about you, Khalid?
Definitely Michigan State. I feel like that they should have definitely took the number 1 spot for the Midwest. But they even had more wins over over Virginia Tech. It's just been such controversy having Michigan State at number 2, and then like you said earlier, the fact that they put them there so that it gives them the benefit of the doubt for being number 2. But then if that's the case, you should have just put them in the number 1 spot. You see what I'm saying?
But where's the upset?
They should just be. I just feel like they should be out. They should be at that 1 spot.
Okay, so if I had to pick an upset, I'd probably say Gonzaga over, because we were just talking about Seton Hall.
Yeah,
and I feel like people just don't be watching Gonzaga, man.
I mean,
Gonzaga's dangerous, bro.
They
Gonzaga
are dangerous, but
like, bro, when Gonzaga is on, I be loving to watch me some Gonzaga. Like, I be pulling up some Gonzaga games on my phone.
I don't know, man.
I be like,
I don't know, man.
Gonzaga, I'm telling you, man, Gonzaga make it interesting. Seton Hall from ball though, but Gonzaga make it interesting.
That's a team. That's a team that can bang in the post, that can run, can press. It's like a miniature version of like a West Virginia type team, and it's crazy. Like, that's gonna be a good game. Yo.
I'd love to have some West Virginia endurance, man. West Virginia endurance, man.
They'll press you whole game.
It don't make no sense. West Virginia's endurance, I can't imagine their run sessions. Imagine when they lose. It's just the running you got to do. What would you? Oh goodness, I just can't even fathom it.
Let me see if I think.
Oh no.
Ghost of Lombardi commented. He said, "Haven't even looked at the brackets yet. Are my Badgers going to get smoked in the first round?" Man, hey, man, hey, look,
man.
Nah, I don't think so. Like, because let me see who they're playing. They're playing Pitt, and I actually have them beating Pitt. But see, Pitt is a stingy ACC team.
You want to talk about upsets? Look at here, Ghost of Lombardi. y'all in trouble because the Pittsburgh coming to roll through and coming to get a W. All right.
Oh no, hey,
bro, I'm telling you. Hold on a second. I love watching some Pittsburgh too. I know why? Because Pittsburgh is cold. The team is an embodiment of the city. They just come through and they just grit and grind and they play rough and tumble. That's what I like about Pittsburgh. I like me some Pittsburgh just because of that reason. You want to talk about steal some cold iron, Wisconsin, bring your Badgers. They about to come and start grinding up some gears.
It'll be cold.
Come on. Hey, I mean, I'm all for the ACC teams and stuff. I'm all for that stuff. I love me some.
Somebody's like, no.
hey, don't worry. Hey, I got faith in Wisconsin, man, because that's a nice discipline. Team full of seniors. You know what I'm saying? This is the same team. I mean, they lost two of the best players.
You lost the tank.
You did. And Sam. And Sam Decker. But I mean, Conan's been playing well, man. I mean, the whole team honestly has been playing well. So I'm looking at that team like they have a chance.
Bro, but some Pittsburgh. See how they played in the you see how they played in the ACC?
Yeah, they did. But I mean, they lost to us. But
they did lose and arguably the best team in college basketball.
They did.
Exactly.
They did.
That's my point.
But
they played y'all. They played y'all rather.
They played us. Yeah, they played us.
Y'all rather well. I mean.
But see, this is the thing. They need to show up. Like, I mean, if you
think they're gonna show up,
I think they're gonna show up. But Wisconsin is a disciplined team. I mean, they're seeded 7 for a reason.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at it like, okay, so even if Pitt or Wisconsin, whoever wins that game, they're not beating Xavier next week or the next game. they're not beating Xavier. So
Ghost of Lombardi, he pretty much said y'all either gonna end it. Y'all
the first one,
yeah.
First.
You know what, Ghost of Lombardi? You know what? Hey, look, I appreciate you tuning in. I'll pick y'all to win.
Oh.
You just said just made a strong case.
I did make a strong case for Pittsburgh.
Come on.
But you know what? I want to give my man some. Actually, you know what? Rashad gave you love. No, F that. Pittsburgh all the way. Pittsburgh, I got faith in you. Don't make me look bad on Wednesday. Or next week when we come up in here, don't make me look bad, Pitt. Okay? I just put my goose in all my eggs in one basket here. But for real, the upset I'm picking is Gonzaga. Gonzaga's gonna, I got that being the upset. Because I feel like not enough people give Gonzaga love, and
I really don't see that many upsets. I mean, do you want to consider Iowa and Temple 7 and 10?
But see, Iowa and Temple.
Is that
I don't really. They're so close.
They got misseeded as
I feel like
well.
that's the same thing with the VCU and
VCU and
that's just
and Oregon State.
Yeah,
I feel like they should have been switched. Honestly,
that's the same thing with the VC Oregon State matchup. I feel like that's. I don't know if I could Gonzaga game. I feel like that can be a bigger upset because of the fact that Gonzaga hasn't even gotten that much talk this whole entire season. I think about how much we talked about Gonzaga 2 years ago. 2 years ago, even last year, how much we talked about Gonzaga. This year is like all the talk has been about Oklahoma, Kansas.
I'm waiting for somebody.
UNC, Michigan State, and who else? There's another team I'm thinking of.
North Carolina.
I already said UNC.
Yes.
Well, people have been, but nobody's really talking about Kentucky because Kentucky hasn't been.
Kentucky's been on that slight drop, big time, early in the season. And then I remember Providence had a big talk about Chris Dunn, how great he is, and then they hit that drought.
Man, talk about.
But hey, watch out for them.
Oh, man. Ghost Lombardi said yes at work. I just swayed him.
But
if you're talking about Rashad, yes, you did sway.
No,
but me, I will not be deterred. I will not be swayed.
Pittsburgh
all the way.
I'm waiting for the person to pick Austin Peay over Kansas.
Man,
that's all I'm waiting for.
I'm waiting for somebody to pick Hampton over Virginia. I never get how Hampton got worked last year by Kentucky. That was you were talking about comedy TV now.
And the sad part about it too. It was the same day as the concert.
It was.
Everybody wanted to go to the Chris Brown concert. It was like,
man,
I gotta miss this to go to this game to see us get worked by Kentucky.
Yeah, well,
I'm right here at home, right here at the concert.
Man, you see,
hey, man, we were there.
Yeah, we were there.
We made the right decision. I watched Kentucky.
Man. I'm watching on Kentucky versus Hampton. What are you talking about? I was gonna watch that game.
Oh, come on.
I picked that game. Man, they destroyed them. Everybody in Kentucky was about 6'4" and higher. You got some of these Hampton guys, my height kind of play against the Harrison twins and Carson. Come on, it wasn't even fair. Honestly, I give Hampton credit because you guys showed up. I give you credit. You know what? You were on the absentee ballot. You know what? You were there. You showed up. You played.
Y'all there? Hey, y'all thought y'all had a chance.
I mean, first half they were balling.
First half was straight.
The only problem is there's a second half, and you know what? When
a lot of things happen in the second half.
A lot of things like 30-point blowout. But we could talk about this for forever, guys. I mean, there's a lot of things. That's the only thing. When NCAA, that's the only crazy thing about March Madness. You could dedicate a whole show to March Madness. We could use up 30 minutes talking about the NCAA brackets. Like,
could have kept going. Could have talked about the whole bracket.
Could talk about the whole selection process.
Because I was ready. I wanted y'all to know who I picked to win.
Oh man, so we gotta save that because we
starts Thursday.
Yeah, we could do it on Wednesday. But then on Wednesday we gotta talk about who the best player in college basketball is.
I mean, that should still be unanimous.
Man, hey.
Potential wise.
Some people are gonna say Buddy. Some people are gonna say Denzel. We'll get into that on Wednesday. But
let's talk about this other person who they think.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But going on to the next topic, Ben Simmons and LSU did not make the tournament. Ben Simmons, arguably the best player in college basketball, projected number 1, number 2 pick by many NBA college basketball analysts, and he couldn't get his team into the tournament. And then now they pulled themselves out of entire postseason play because one, Keith Hornsby had a surgery this past Tuesday that would have taken him out of tournament play, so he wouldn't have been able to play this postseason. It was the same injury he sustained in November that took him out of play for the first month of November, and so he wasn't able to play then. And then you lose Antonio Blakeney. He was questionable for the tournament for the NIT, whatever they would have played. He was questionable for the tournament. So what do you guys think about LSU and the fact that who's to blame for them not making the tournament and essentially not even playing the postseason? Kyle, let's start with you. What do you think?
A lot of blame been thrown at Ben Simmons, because since they say arguably he's the best player in the college basketball scene, so he should be able to take his team, and get them into the tournament. But the thing is, the man is only one person. He ain't a whole team himself. He definitely needs some help around him. So he can't. It's understandable that he's the best player, and good players make the team a whole lot better, and will definitely get them more wins. But the man can't do it alone. He needs some help. I feel like some of the blame needs to go on the coach as well, because he got to lead this team to work better with Ben Simmons, or if they're not working well with him, get them into more plays with him to make his chemistry better for the team, and just to get the team as an overall unit, just more complete and together with Ben Simmons, so that he don't have to feel like everything is put on his shoulders.
All right, Rashad, what about you?
Now, for what you were saying, Khaled, about this man Ben Simmons, he say basically needs some help, right? So he don't feel like everything is on him. This man at all this season did not act like everything was on him. This man was the most passive superstar, college megastar you can think of.
That's true.
And that's the reason they didn't make the tournament. Because you have a walking triple-double,
not taking
not shooting the ball. Like, man, I'll pass the ball away, you know what I'm saying? Let Quarterman do his thing. Because, I mean, this is how I feel like. If I was Ben Simmons, this is my Ben Simmons mindset right now. If I get us to the tournament, I can't do it by myself. So let me make my team carry us to the tournament. And then when the tournament comes, I'll show up. But when that came around, he had to play Texas A&M. And that's where he was like, oh, snap, our chances might be over with. Because, I mean, they put a beating on him. They put a beating on him.
That's rough.
And they strapped Ben Simmons, who was also in foul trouble most of the game, though. But I'm just like, man, who's to blame? Is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons could have went to any college he wanted to play football. He chose LSU. I don't blame him. I mean, it's not a mega school, but at the same time, he doesn't need to go to a mega school to become the number 1, number 2 pick like he's projected to be.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go to a team and
LSU is a football, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, LSU is a football.
It's a straight football school. I mean, when you really think about LSU being a dominant basketball school, who do you think of?
What you said?
When you think of them being a dominant college basketball team, who do you think of?
What do you mean?
Like LSU. Who was on that team? Exactly. Exactly. That's the last person you think of when that team was dominant.
Wow.
So you're looking at it like he could have went to a better team. I mean, I feel like what he tried to do was like just bring a team out, kind of like a video game type story where you go on a bad team and make them become a champion team. Then he tried that, but he tried to do it being too much of a team player, and it eventually cost his team. And it costs what we looked at as the best player to not actually see him in the big dance. And it's crazy, like not seeing Ben Simmons play. But at the same time, I feel like it saves him from injury going into the draft. But I feel like he's to blame.
I blame the coach for a large part of it, because if you have the best player in basketball, and arguably in college basketball, and you feel as though he's being a little passive, because I mean, the man averaged 19.5 points, 11.6 rebounds, and 56% shooting for the field, averaged 4.8 assists. The man was balling. You know what I mean? Those are, I mean, even arguably the walking triple-double, Denzel Valentine didn't have those numbers. And I mean, Denzel Valentine had more assists, but he didn't have as many points or rebounds. But when you see a player like Ben Simmons, you could, I mean, as a coach, I would see players like Quarterman trying to get their own. I would see Hornsby trying to get their own sometimes, and I'm like, well, if you know you have the best player on the court, like I never forget when I watched the Oklahoma game, and LSU was in perfect position to win the Oklahoma game, and they down the stretch they stopped playing through Ben Simmons, and he was posting up, calling for the ball, and they were not giving him the basketball. They were taking threes, they were taking reckless drives to the basket, and they were just not giving Ben Simmons the ball. And while Ben Simmons can't get the ball on the perimeter, I mean, his sweet points is in the post. So he was down where he scores best, and nobody was giving him the ball. As a coach, I'm sitting there saying, get the ball to Ben. Like, you have to play. We have to play through Ben. Like, it's one of those things. That's one of the greatest assets of Ben Simmons is his unselfishness, because it keeps everybody involved. But those same teammates have to know when it comes down to winning time, or hey, you know, when it comes down, we need buckets. We go to the best player on the court. I mean, even though each player of their own feel like they can play, you don't just completely just go away from the star. That's the problem with the Pelicans, if you want to argue in the NBA, when they go away from Anthony Davis, because he's the best player that they have on the court, but then they don't get Anthony Davis's touches. What are you going to say, Sean?
But I mean, can't you say the same thing with his attitude? Because I don't know if you remember the Kansas game against LSU when Dickie V was actually commentating the game, and he was complaining about you can't be that great and not trying to score the ball. I mean, you've seen games where Ben Simmons shoot the ball 5 times.
You do see games where you shoot the ball 5 times. You're right.
There's no one who can stop this man. I mean, only thing he can do is limit. He can't shoot threes. He can't shoot threes. but he's unstoppable inside the 3-point line. So therefore, who's gonna stop him? He's basically a 6'7", 6'10".
Dude's big. He's like 6'.
I thought he was like 6'8", 6'10" point guard basically.
Yeah, 6'10", bro.
He's a 6'10" point guard basically. Dude. Who can stop that? Like I've seen my man put dudes on mix. I want to say he's like 6'8", 6'9". Between 6'6" and 6'8" is what he should be.
Yeah, he's 6'10".
Point is, he's a 6'10", projected to be a point guard coming out. When he came out of high school, everybody was like, he's a 6'10" point guard. I seen him put dudes on mix. I seen him get to the basket, no problem. But why doesn't he do that? Why is he not passing? Why is he not aggressive enough to do that? Why does he play so passive?
Maybe when he got into the LSU organization, you might want to develop his game all around instead of just being one of those.
But what do you mean develop his game, though? He could have went straight. If they still had the high school rule, he wouldn't even be playing at LSU. He would have been straight out of high school.
I mean, but it always helps to work to play on the college team to get that some of those fundamental skills as well.
You're right, but at the same time, if you're doing it, and I honestly feel like he hurt his draft stock. I feel like he was a unanimous first-round pick, and after this season, I don't see it no more. Because if you think about the teams who's gonna be a first-round pick, the number one pick potentially, you got 76ers, you got the Lakers, you got like the Suns, you got stuff like that. They need a dominant person to put the ball in the basket for them.
Well, I mean, but the thing about Ben Simmons that makes him great, that he can make other players better. So when you go to a team like in Philadelphia, you can make those players around you better because he's so unselfish. Like that's one of LeBron James's greatest traits, is that any team LeBron has gone to, he's always, all his teammates have played way better than every single point guard LeBron James, every single point guard, shooting guard, any other position LeBron James essentially played with that aren't named Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Any other team they went to, they played like mediocre. They didn't play I don't want to say mediocre, but they didn't play to the height of the level that they played with LeBron James. Like, they seemed like better players because they played with LeBron James. Only player I could say probably wasn't that guy was Mario Chalmers, and that's because he's played better now in Memphis.
But come on, LeBron is a lot better.
That's what they're comparing him to.
They are comparing him to, but he's a lot better.
But I'm saying he has that LeBron unselfishness.
Even when LeBron came to he has LeBron's unselfishness, but at the same time, LeBron will go out and drop 30 on you.
He will, but
I don't see Ben Simmons doing that in the NBA, especially now when he can't shoot the 3-ball.
See, but LeBron couldn't shoot the 3-ball.
Yeah, he can't shoot the 3-ball.
He shoot the ball more than 3 times all season.
He would shoot it more than 3 times. The only thing for me with Ben Simmons is he's hit LeBron's main stick was made on his perimeter play. LeBron's a perimeter player. Ben Simmons is a post/perimeter player. Ben Simmons can get the ball on the perimeter, but he's most effective in the post.
He can't be stopped in the post.
He cannot be stopped. That's what makes him such a conundrum. He can fake. Ben Simmons is very. That's what people are saying. You shouldn't be comparing him to LeBron. You should be comparing him to Magic Johnson. He's not as athletic as LeBron was. He has vision like Magic. He could pass. Not as well as Magic, but he can pass the rock. But the thing is, he's unselfish like a Magic was. Like, think about it. Magic wasn't a guy that was gonna go. Like, he would drop 30 necessary if it was need be. But he'd rather just
be a perimeter.
Addition of
team player.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Magic. I mean, his career averaged like 19 points. It's similar to Ben Simmons.
Yeah, what you see what Ben Simmons is gonna do. That's a kind of I don't feel like he'll even be like the player you're trying to be is not gonna be good enough for the NBA because his frame is too small to be a dominant post player against these.
I don't know about that. Because Anthony Davis is living.
But I mean,
Anthony Davis is smaller than
Anthony Davis has a lot more post moves than. Like I don't think Ben, because think about when people who guard Ben Simmons, they're all 3-4 inches shorter than him.
What made Anthony Davis? But that's what makes Anthony Davis great because he can face up anybody,
even
people that are bigger than him.
But he's more confident in his jump shot than Ben Simmons is.
That's true. But Anthony Davis coming out. Remember, Anthony Davis coming out of Kentucky. He wasn't the best jump shooter either.
Yeah,
but he as a defensive player and as an all-around fundamental player, Anthony Davis had it all.
Yeah, but Anthony Davis, his first year in the league wasn't all that. He was strictly a defensive player and then got developed. Someone like Ben Simmons, you want him to come in and immediately make an impact on the team. I don't think he can do that right away. Yeah, you do. If the Lakers pick him, they want him to make an impact right away.
I get what you're saying because you do want him.
Not going to do that.
On the organization.
He's not that player now.
You do want him to make an immediate impact, but sometimes these guys, because the same thing could have been said for D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell was expected to be picked and make it. People were saying they wanted him to make an immediate impact, and people were saying he was a bust. But now they see later on in the season, he's playing lights out. So this man, D'Angelo Russell, I don't know. I haven't factored in last night's game against the Knicks, but he's averaging about 25 points, 47% shooting, and about 40-something% shooting from 3-point range. The boy's balling out now, but people were calling him a bust earlier in the season. He didn't make an immediate impact. And when we're talking about Ben Simmons, he might not be the guy to make that immediate impact immediately, but down the line, his projected potential is astronomical because he can't. That's I feel like people are mistaking when I think the only reason why people are comparing him to LeBron James is because of that exact fact that he's a 6'10" guy that can pass the ball. He can dribble it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like he's more of a post player. He should be compared more so to Anthony Davis, but he's not the shot blocker Anthony Davis was. Anthony Davis was something different on defense. He still is something different on defense.
But see, Ben Simmons is something different on defense too. I mean,
he's just Anthony Davis.
Here it is. Anthony Davis is a 6'10" shot blocker. Ben Simmons is a 6'10" still man. I mean, when I see him play defense, I see all the steals he get. I'm comparing him to like Chris Paul when it comes to something like that.
Chris Paul. Have you seen
Chris Paul?
You don't think Chris Paul's a good? No, you're saying. But have you seen, bro? Have you seen the steals that Ben Simmons creates? Those are NBA caliber steals, bro.
Chris Paul. Just give me another name, bro.
No, bro. Chris Paul.
Give me somebody other than Chris Paul.
Chris Paul's
led the league in steals for numerous years,
exactly.
except for this year.
And Ben Simmons.
Somebody other than Chris Paul.
Ben Simmons. No, I'm not
somebody
changing.
Other than
I'm
Chris
not
Paul.
changing. Ben Simmons is not coming to
Give me somebody like a Ben Wallace, somebody out.
No.
Ben Wallace balled out on defense. That's what he made it.
We're not calling him
but
Chris
then you
Paul.
gonna give him Chris Paul?
We're not. Those are nowhere near the same category.
No, Ben Wallace was
you're about to
baller on defense.
He was a baller on
defense.
defense.
Got steals, blocks, everything. That's the reason why we lost. That's the reason why the Lakers lost in 04. It's because of Ben Wallace.
That whole team was nasty, bro.
They were.
That whole Pistons team was nasty.
You saw what Ben Wallace did to Shaq and Carmelo. So we didn't know. It was wrong. It was wrong. Chris Paul, bro. Chris Paul's a thief. He's CP gone. Like I don't know what to even call. He's not.
Ben Simmons will get first team all defense by third or fourth year in the league.
He was a Chris Paul.
Yes. If you watch that, they robbed him. If you watch the game of Texas A&M, a lot of his fouls were robbed because he had clean plucks. I mean, the same plucks he's been having all. Yeah, I'm positive. I am positive.
Yeah, them 3 fouls he got.
Yo, they were suspect.
They were bogus.
They were suspect.
I saw. I think he plucked. Who's the Texas A&M small forward? He came.
You talking about the one with the dude trying to drive into Ben Simmons, right?
Yeah, he tried to drive into him. Ben Simmons plucked him clean. And then they called the foul.
Asking for it.
He didn't even know what to say. Like
I'm just saying, yo.
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, they're not in the
tournament, and it's Ben Simmons' fault for not being aggressive.
That's your opinion. Khaled got his opinion. I got mine. I think it's the coach. Rashad thinks it's Ben Simmons.
They definitely got a coach.
He thinks it's the other players.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All around.
He thinks all around.
Not on Ben Simmons. So.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll leave it at that. But going on to the next topic, talking about Oklahoma City Thunder, who have now lost they've lost their 8th game coming out of the All-Star break. You know, one of the teams that people were saying that could have been arguably, we said it on here too, that they could have been the team to knock out Golden State. And they haven't exactly done that for us. You know, they haven't exactly kept true to that. They kind of been getting beat pretty badly. They got worked by the Golden State like last week, I think. It was last week, and their rematch. And it seems as though that Oklahoma City just can't hold on to a fourth quarter lead if their lives depended on it. Like it seems that every single time coming down in the fourth quarter, I have to just assume that Oklahoma City's going to lose because they have the lead. Because it's legit that bad. Because going into this game with San Antonio, Oklahoma City has been like what it seems to be the San Antonio Spurs kryptonite. But Oklahoma City just can't ever finish a game. They were leading into the game going against San Antonio. They lost it 85-93. And you look at it, and Kevin Durant, I mean, he balled. He had 28 points. He had 8 assists. Russell Westbrook, though, my man has 17 points, 9 turnovers, 7 assists. And you're looking at it and you're just like, what the heck is wrong with Oklahoma State? They have all this talent. Why can't they finish games? And you're wondering what's wrong with them. Like, I actually went back and I was just researching all their fourth quarters, how they play in the fourth quarter. Against the Timberwolves, they lost to the Timberwolves before they lost to the Spurs. Against
Timberwolves. I'm looking at the
Timberwolves.
They lost the fourth quarter 30-23. It's just against the Spurs, they lost it 17-27. Against the Warriors, they lost it 39-23. You just can't win if other teams are whooping you this badly in the fourth quarter. I don't get it. And you have Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook who can create offense by themselves. And you're telling me they're both on the same team and you can't find points in the fourth quarter? It doesn't make any sense. So y'all tell me, what do you all think is wrong with the Oklahoma City Thunder? Rashad, what's up with you? What do you think is wrong with them?
It's time for a makeover. That's what's wrong with them. This is a team that can't finish games off together. And as we see, when you have two megastars as what they have, two blockbuster players who you don't know who's getting the ball at the end of the night anymore. You don't know who's going to be Westbrook doing ISO. You don't know who's Durant doing ISO. I mean, Durant more so just take those reckless threes at times where he just feels like as soon as I touch the ball, I'm shooting it. But you can see the ball get stuck in one spot when it comes to the fourth quarter, and they get away from their game. Because if you look at the rest of the game, how the scoring goes between each team, and it comes to that fourth quarter down the stretch where it comes to our ISO ball, it's like they completely forget what has them winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of how like our intramural was, Brendan.
You just get kind of
how we forget what has us winning, and we go away from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Thunder do. So I feel like like I said earlier, this team is the best for the Warriors. It's not anymore. I don't even see them making it that far in the playoffs anymore. This is a team that's struggling. Like, you can't lose to the Timberwolves. I mean the Warriors lost to the Lakers. Like you can't blow leads like that. Like they've been doing.
And that's the main issue. The fact they're blowing these leads.
Yeah.
They're blowing leads. It's not about, it is about the losses coming. You're 4-8 coming out of the All-Star break. Why? You're too talented to be 4-8 coming out of the
Exactly.
But
granted, they played some tough teams in this stretch. But at the same time, they're losing to teams they shouldn't lose to.
Like, they had a lead on Golden. They had a 10-point lead on Golden State in the fourth quarter. It wasn't like it was the start of the fourth quarter. They had in the fourth quarter. It was like 8 minutes left to go, and they had a 10-point lead. I know against Golden State that's nothing, but against Oklahoma City, you have to think that they would at least be able to create offense, because at least with 8 minutes left to go in the game, you're assuming the starters are back in the game, and you want to tell me you couldn't manifest any.
Why can't you do what was working for you? Like, you know how to score in the team, and it's clear to see that. But I don't know what's wrong.
Right,
I just think a makeover.
Carla, what do you think?
Definitely, I feel like the lack of the bench, like the lack of presence on the bench, hurts them so much more than we expect. Because without them having real people who can like take hold of the team and get those points for them, they then have to put back in Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook to carry the team some more, and then they'll get lost at the end of the game and feel like, oh, maybe you should go ahead and get the score. And they're like, nah, I think I'll take it. And then it's just like Rashad was saying, who's gonna get these points? And then they be looking kind of lost. So at times, I feel like they be looking so crispy. They be looking to the point where they're gonna just whoop this team. And then fourth quarter comes, they just stand around looking lost. They can't make shots. They don't be looking productive as they can. I feel like their morale drops by the time the fourth quarter comes, because they don't have people on the bench to hold them at to keep them at these leads sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I can understand that too, because your bench is essentially who you're supposed to trust with your lead. Normally you go to your bench when you believe, because every team has that point in time where they're like, okay, we're going to rest so-and-so. Like Steph Curry sits at the beginning of every fourth quarter and comes back in at about the 6 to 8 minute mark.
If needed.
Yeah, if needed. You know what I'm saying? He always sits out for about a good 8 or a good 6 to 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. And depending on the team they're playing, sometimes they bring him back a little bit earlier, or they'll keep him out just a little bit longer just to see if the bench can keep it going and hold on. But when you don't have that depth, it puts a lot more on your stars. And I don't know if it's just that these guys fizzle out at the end of the game, but sometimes it just seems as though it's not that they fizzle out, but they just take terrible shots. Like
the worst, bro. Like, the worst of shots.
I saw Russell Westbrook going against Tim Duncan when they played. I think it was Saturday night, And I'm watching it on my phone. And I'm seeing Russell Westbrook just take the ball and run directly at Tim Duncan. I'm like, why? Like, I understand Russell Westbrook is is arguably the most athletic player in the league right now. But this man legit ran at Tim Duncan and just jumped into him and got blocked. And I was like, huh? I was like, that was the best thing y'all could come up with. I know sometimes it works, it creates a foul, but Tim Duncan is arguably one of the best rim protectors in the game right now. And he just ran at him. Like, I wish I could really demonstrate this for y'all. Like, he honestly darted at him.
Like he thought he was going to beat him.
He didn't throw up a floater or anything. He just ran at him and got blocked. Like, I was just like, what was that? And that's like, it's honestly those kind of things that they end up with. And then Russell Westbrook will have a late game turnovers that just kill you in the fourth quarter, like 9 turnovers. He had more turnovers than assists. He had 7 assists, 9 turnovers, and the man had 19 points. Like,
the team is too talented to be playing the way they're doing.
Yeah, and it makes no sense. I'd sit there and I watch it. And I feel like we always say everybody said the same thing when Scott Brooks was the coach. We all said their offense is too stagnant, revolves around 2 stars. Now Billy Donovan came in from the college level. Everybody's supposed to say he's the offensive guru. That's supposed to fix this team. No, they took a step back because they got worse on offense and defense. Scott Brooks at least had them in the top 10 in defensive efficiency each year. Or actually, he had them as a top 3 team in defensive efficiency. This team is horrible defensively now. Halftime they can't lock up teams when it matters. They just let teams go on these runs, and it's like it wouldn't hurt you as bad if you can't score if you could lock up sometimes. Sometimes I seen like when they played the Warriors and Steph Curry hit that deep bomb of a 3. Klay Thompson got some easy backdoor layups in that overtime and in the fourth quarter. I was just like, you can't give that up. I mean, you got Andre Roberson on the court who's a defensive specialist, and he's getting toasted on backdoor cuts. I'm like, how does that even? You're limiting. He limits your offense because everybody just pretty much sags whoever's guarding him into the paint. So you limit your offense by having him on the court. But then it's like on defense, I'm like, you're not getting the benefits of having him out there. So I don't understand it.
I feel like some of the lack of defense as well is hurting that offense because at points they'll be like, these people keep scoring. We can't stop them. Yeah. They're gonna force shots.
Yeah, and you're right, because when you play great defense, it normally leads into transition baskets and transition opportunities. And Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant had the most transition points in the league, but imagine if they actually played great defense. Like, if they played great defense. I never forget when Miami was when they had the whole Miami thing going. LeBron and Dwayne Wade killed people in transition, and that's because their defense was so strapped in Miami. Their defense was locked down, and when teams were forced to take those long threes and they were missing, that normally results in long rebounds and people are gone. But Oklahoma City, when you're not guarding people at the time, it's going to result in open threes. It's going to result in open layups. And then you got to keep going up against half-court sets. And the Spurs are the best defensive team. Like, the Spurs have they're the best defensive team. And they've held 19 or 20 teams under 85 or to 85 points and lower this season. The Thunder were exactly at 85 points. That's crazy. 85. Some teams can't have a whole team under 100. 85 points. That's crazy.
I mean, if you think about it, that's also what hurts the Thunder too, because when they take bad shot selections like that, nobody's in position to get back.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of their shots are quick in the shot clock too. It'd be quick, ugly threes, long rebound, and that's how teams go on runs against the Thunder. Because their bad shots lead to long rebounds, long kickouts too, which teams are actually capitalizing in their transition runs.
Exactly.
So you're looking at it like when they play slower. I mean, because you look at that team, you assume it's a faster paced team, but honestly, when they play a little slower and they control the tempo and stuff like that themselves, it gives better shot selection, better chance to return on defense. So that's what I'm looking at it now. Like, was it really Scott Brooks, or is it this team?
Yeah, it's honestly a question I don't even know how to answer, to be honest, because
nobody do, man.
Because we thought everybody assumed it was Scott Brooks. He got fired. Now you bring in Billy Donovan, and honestly, I thought Mark Jackson was going to be the hire, because I mean,
nobody wants to give my man some love, like.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know, man. Like, I honestly thought it was gonna be Mark Jackson, but then he didn't get the job, and I thought you're gonna bring in a guy like Tom Thibodeau, who I don't know, because I guess they wanted to fix the offense, so they brought in an offensive coach, but it just hasn't.
They need some help.
You fire an offensive coach and bring in another offensive coach. It doesn't.
Scott Brooks was more so he was a defensive coach. He was more so a defensive coach. Yeah, he was a more defensive coach. Tom Thibodeau was strictly defense. He was a pure defensive coach. Mark Jackson was neutral. Mark Jackson.
I mean, he had the offensive weapons to make him seem like an offensive coach.
Yeah, he was a neutral coach though. So yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. The Thunder, because I hate saying that Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant can't play together because they're so talented. And when they played fully healthy with one another, they got to the NBA Finals.
But
they've been in the Western Conference Finals. Yeah,
they had another star. Well, I mean, he's not like he is now, but
yeah, exactly. But
it shows that.
But even without James Harden, they still made it to the Western Conference Finals, and that was without Serge Ibaka being fully healthy. They still got there to the Western Conference. They lost to the Spurs.
They won't do it again.
And the Spurs won the championship that year.
Yeah, you did.
But I'm saying I don't even know because we've never seen them fully healthy. We've never gotten a chance to see them.
This season you kind of say they were. I mean, pretty much fully healthy.
No, this season they are. If they lose this season, that's why I think Kevin Durant's waiting to see how they play this season in the postseason to decide whether he wants to leave or not. Because
this is the best year they've had as a healthy team, as a complete team.
You know what I'm saying? And they got the weapons. There's no excuse because you have. I mean, their bench is probably the only place where you can look at. But they bring Enes Kanter off the bench along with Dion Waiters, and those are two guys that can put the basketball in the hoop. So you're sitting there, you're like, what's really the full-on excuse for this team? So I mean,
that bench is not Golden State or San Antonio either.
But that's the thing. But not everybody's bench can be Golden State or San Antonio. The Cleveland Cavaliers don't got to. I mean, they're in the Eastern Conference, but Cleveland at least won 2 games against Golden State last season.
Yeah,
with their bench and LeBron James. That's essentially what it was. It was the bench and LeBron James. You know what I mean? And they still won 2 games in the NBA Finals with that team. So, I mean, Oklahoma City, at this point, you're sitting there looking at it. You don't want to say they can't win together, Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. But
I gotta say, man, I don't see them winning a championship on the same team.
Who knows, man? We have
and it's sad too because you want to see them win together.
You do want to see them win together. Like that's an exciting team to watch.
It is.
That before Golden State became Golden State, the Oklahoma City Thunder was the most exciting team to watch in basketball.
I mean, their crowd was live and everything. Exactly. Oklahoma City had the best crowd until Oracle Arena came up with Golden State. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see with those guys because I mean, let's see if they can turn it around because I think we got left. We got like 16 games left in the season now at this point. So who knows? Wait, they're 44-22. So
they can be positive.
They got 44-22. They got so that's 66 games.
Struggling in 16 games.
Yeah, 16 games. Oh, I was right. Yeah, 16 games. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, man, we'll have to wait and see with Oklahoma City. But go on to our last topic: NFL free agency, man. So many teams are signing. So many guys are just signing with different teams. Some guys are coming back to their teams. And the question is, which free agent splash in the NFL free agency has been the biggest? So, Khalid, let's start off with you. What do you think the biggest signing in NFL free agency has been so far?
Well, it's like I don't know how to feel about this one, but it's been a noteworthy one. Texans signing Brock Osweiler because I feel like the Broncos organization is now putting more faith into Peyton Manning. They don't have that the last backup quarterback they have. I think he's like a second year who hasn't really played much as a QB, and then Peyton Manning is getting older and less accurate. So is a question to me: why would you take off Brock Osweiler out of the organization when people thought that he was going to like Peyton Manning's going to pass the torch to him? That'll be like he was going to try and lead the team, or he was going to teach him Brock Osweiler and shape him into a good QB to be for that Broncos organization. Now I feel like they're losing substance for that QB because Peyton Manning isn't going to last 2-3 more years.
Well, I mean, one of the funny things over break that because we were on break, we didn't even get to talk about. We didn't even get to address the fact of how with Peyton Manning retiring, him officially retiring, now the Broncos quarterback position is vacant. Without now that Brock is gone and Peyton is gone now because his retirement, that it's vacant. We didn't even get to talk about it because we were on the break over spring break, and he retired like what was it last Sunday? It was last Sunday or Monday. Okay. I remember our first day of the spring break. We saw the news on there actually. But yeah, so you say Brock Osweiler. Excuse me. Okay, what about you, Rashad?
Can I do like a good, the bad, and the ugly type thing?
Go ahead, go for it.
So the good is the Texans and the Jaguars actually.
Jaguars,
they I mean that's when you got money, that's what you can do.
Cap space is a beautiful thing.
So
lovely.
Jaguars definitely helped their defense out. So I say honestly, those 3 were huge splashes. But the biggest splash was Osweiler and Lamar Miller going to the Texans, which helped the team that had a struggling offense but a great defense develop a great offense, which potentially be a great offense with a premier back and a premier quarterback from what we've seen from 7 games. I mean, it's wait to see. He has DeAndre Hopkins now, so you never know what can happen.
It's true.
The Jaguars strengthened their defense. The offense still intact. Everybody still returned pretty much. So everybody's DTWD, Duval till we die. So Jaguars might be on the come up this year. The bad is the Cleveland Browns.
Oh,
everything
They
is gone.
suck.
Everybody was like, I'm
Good
out of here.
God.
Tashawn Gibson, who came to the Jaguars, said he left Cleveland not for the money, but because he was tired of losing.
It's like that.
It's horrible.
He's
Yeah,
tired of
it does.
losing,
Like
and he
that.
feels like he has a better chance to win in Jacksonville. I mean, of all the teams you could chose, he even put Jacksonville over Cleveland. That's how you know you're bad
Honestly,
now.
I mean,
yeah,
Jacksonville's on the come up
because
now.
Cleveland is just
all those free agent
Yeah.
signings. I mean, it's looking really. I mean, Jacksonville's really a beautiful place. I mean, we drove past it.
Oh.
I mean,
It's
the
a
sunshine,
Sunshine's
beautiful.
beautiful.
The sunshine was lovely.
Nice pillars everywhere, nice city, water everywhere. I was like, love it. I wanted to stay.
Yeah.
Nice. But that's the biggest. And then they waived Johnny Manziel.
they did.
And now they can't even it's so bad because Colin Kaepernick wants to come to Cleveland, but he doesn't want to get rid of his contract.
I don't understand it.
But
A coach is that powerful, man. A coach can make an impact, man.
It can't, but the problem is the coach hasn't made an impact that they've been able to keep nobody.
They haven't.
You lost your this man. Let me get into
And
my
see,
Cleveland Browns
he-
organization.
he doesn't want to give up the money, which I completely understand. You don't want to go to a losing organization and take less
And
money.
pay and get less.
And the ugly would be the Denver Broncos, man. Losing, not wanting to. Well, I mean,
you lost Brock.
you lost Brock. You
Peyton's
lost.
gone.
You only have 9 people returning on your defense, which I mean is decent.
Yeah,
but you
that's
still,
crazy. They
you
lost CJ Anderson.
You lost
You
CJ.
lost
CJ Anderson. You lost Malik Jackson. You're looking at it like, wow, you're. I
The
mean,
Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl team's
team.
gonna break up because people want their money.
Remember how we were talking about that? I remember we said it weeks ago. I was saying that. Remember when Rudy, everybody was here. I said the only reason why I would say Payne Manning should return at the time
It's because
is if
everybody
you
will be
bring
back,
that same exact team
Mhm.
that they could
And now
run
it's
off
that-
on the
yeah.
defense.
and they
That's
can't.
not the
Well, I
case.
mean, we it's not the same defense we see, and they lost just one of the star defensive ends, everything like that.
Yeah,
And their reward for losing everybody is Mark Sanchez. He's the star as of right now. Mark Sanchez is the starting quarterback for that team. That's why it's the ugly.
Y'all remember that fumble that he had one time?
Of course, never forget the butt fumble.
Oh my
Never
God.
forget the butt fumble.
Oh my
But
God, the
I can honestly say of that's the good, bad, and ugly. But the biggest splash would be Vernon, Oliver Vernon, with his mega million contract,
Mhm.
highest paid defensive end of all time.
Mhm.
He went for the money. He got it.
He did.
Mm.
He did.
Biggest splash.
Yeah,
He don't
probably.
deserve it, but he got it.
Me and D Sizzle were thinking the same thing because D Sizzle commented and said Alex Mack took off from
For the
Cleveland
Browns
too.
too, yeah.
And that was actually one of the biggest free agent signings that I had in my list because one thing we always talk about with the Falcons is they don't some of their problems in their offensive line has hindered the Falcons. But now you bring in Alex Mack and you're telling me Matt Ryan gets more time and Devontae Freeman gets another block, a Pro Bowl blocker, and that's lethal. You know what I mean? Like, but then also when we look at Miami getting a Mario Williams to pair up with Ndamukong Suh, that's crazy.
And talking to Chris Clemens too.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And then I looked at the Cardinals and they signed Tyvon Branch to help them with this at the safety position. I'm just sitting here looking. I'm like,
okay,
all these people. It's too many people. I just can't even keep record of all these people, all the money changing hands.
Hey,
like,
I mean, it's not really a part of free agency also, but the DeMarco Murray trade to the Titans,
man.
and they restructured his contract.
Yeah, and what's it called? And the Giants getting Janoris Jenkins. You help out your secondary, and now you have Janoris Jenkins and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. You could argue that could be one of the better secondaries. Cornerback tandems. Like,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So who actually is the biggest splash for you, Brendan? Exactly. Who?
Yeah.
What one player? Because I honestly think that Vernon contract was just like, I was like, wow. I mean, he didn't come to the Jaguars because he was like, they ain't give me enough money. He was like, I'm all about the money.
Dude.
And it took the Giants to pay this man Albert Haynesworth type money.
Well, see, I'm gonna read a comment that D Sizzle said. He said, "Doesn't it seem like no matter what the Dolphins do, it results in mediocrity?" And he said, "Wasn't it Greg Jennings and Ndamukong Suh that were the splash last year?" But here's the thing about the Dolphins: they got things. I think after they fired Tony Sparano, they started getting things, going their way after a while. They started getting things going. We started seeing how they started clicking correctly. So I believe that, with Mario Williams now coming, I mean, he's a former Pro Bowler, and I guess he just didn't work out with the Bills. They had to release him. But you want to tell me that I just can't I can't see a defensive line that if you have them two on it, it's just
that defensive line is gonna be dangerous. But at the same time, you lost your best offensive weapon. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say Ryan Tannehill is the answer for them and Jarvis Landry, but Lamar Miller made an impact too to make it so Ryan Tannehill and Jarvis Landry.
But didn't Chris Ivory go to the Dolphins?
No, Chris Ivory on Jacksonville.
Oh, he went to Jacksonville.
Okay. The Dolphins got I think it was Arian Foster.
I can't remember. I know Matt Forte went to the Jets. Yeah, and I see this. It's so many free agents is changing hands. I can't even keep track of all of it. But if I had to say my biggest free agents, didn't Prince of Mukamara go to the Jacksonville?
Jacksonville is set.
Oh yeah.
I had to say Jacksonville just won as a team.
They did. As a team, the biggest splash is the Jacksonville signing.
Yeah, it's all their signings.
We lost out on it. We missed. We didn't get Ayers. We didn't get Vernon. That's the only thing that hurt us.
Because if I had to pick a biggest splash, obviously the most important position is quarterback. So I'm going to say Brock leaving Denver. But as far as the biggest free agent signings, Jacksonville just took everybody. Yeah. They took away everybody, and they made all these other teams so much worse. Because Prince of Mukamara was one of the best defensive players for the Giants. When he was healthy. Yeah, when he was healthy. You take him away from them now. I mean, they did get Janoris Jenkins, so that's a pretty nice consolation. And I mean, you sign all these different guys, and it's just like I don't even know. I
was torn between this free agency. Like I was happy seeing Jacksonville get all these people. I like me from Jacksonville now.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys, man, I'm just waiting for the Cowboys to
sign. Y'all re-signed Morris.
Yeah, we re-signed everybody, but we didn't bring in nobody new really.
Y'all brought in a new defensive end, didn't y'all?
Thornton.
Yeah.
But other than I mean, it's not what we needed. It's not what we needed.
Brophy said Ivory to the Jacks. $6 million a year. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I mean, hey,
Jacksonville came through in this free agency.
They just signing everybody that's been available,
and they still got They still got like crazy money.
But the crazy thing is, I wonder why Ryan Fitzpatrick hasn't gotten a contract when my man Matt Flynn got a contract for playing one good game. Because Ryan Tannehill got a contract.
Ryan Fitzpatrick wants the money. Yeah, and the teams don't want to pay him the money right now.
But in this market, you can argue that a lot of these quarterbacks have gotten the money, and Brock Osweiler got the money.
That's the mark now. Nobody wants to pay people what Texans just paid Brock Osweiler. And that's what Ryan, he's like, well, I mean, you saw what I did this year. Brandon Marshall wants me back too. And you're not going to pay me the money they're paying him. So it's like, it's hurting. He's going to get signed. More likely, I think it's going to probably be, if he doesn't get picked up by the Jets, look at the Rams.
What about Denver?
Look at Denver.
Well, yeah.
Denver, I feel like Denver's going to the draft now.
I don't even know what
because they don't have the reason, because Ryan Fitzpatrick wants the money Osweiler wanted. The Broncos didn't want to pay that money to Osweiler. They're not going to want to pay it to Fitzpatrick. Especially aging as well. So I feel like they're just gonna try to go for the draft or tough it out with Sanchez.
So that's in the draft, they won the Super Bowl.
You're right.
Who you gonna get in the draft?
Nobody.
Well, if you think about it, the way the quarterbacks has been going around, it's not no teams don't really need the quarterback anymore. Especially if Kaepernick goes to the Browns. There's really no the quarterbacks who went from the top 5 picks are now not even looking at quarterbacks no more.
Well, I mean, the Browns still need a quarterback.
Yeah. But I'm saying if Kaepernick goes to the Browns, they're not gonna waste that pick on a quarterback no more. They're gonna pick him up. No, they're not. They're not going to. They lost their best receiving weapon. They lost their best safety. They lost their best center. They lost everything. They need something else other than a quarterback if they're gonna bring in Colin Kaepernick. The Rams is the only team, honestly, right, that's gonna need a quarterback. If Fitzpatrick doesn't sign with the Jets, you can see him going to the Rams. So technically, the Broncos have the chance to get one of these quarterbacks who was saying at the beginning of the year was going to be top.
But you don't think people don't pick a quarterback even just
they're going to take
not with their first pick.
I know not with their first pick, but some people will pick a quarterback just like people were saying that the Cowboys might pick a quarterback. You already have Tony Romo, but people were saying the Cowboys might just pick a quarterback just to have one on the roster.
But this is the thing. People are starting to be worried because think about it. The Cowboys now, everybody said Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett said Romo's 3 or 4 more years, right?
Yeah.
Quarterback. They're not going to sign a quarterback with that first pick anymore because they saw what Brock Osweiler just did. He went through his whole rookie contract being behind Peyton Manning. Didn't play at all, really. So now he's like, all right, well, I'm free on a contract. I'm going somewhere else where I can play.
Yeah.
So I feel like what he just did set fear into everybody. If you're not going to start him right away, they're going to snag him away from me when his contract ends.
But I mean, it would be good to have like a QB behind Tony Romo, just to teach him the way that the Cowboys.
That's the thing for me. It's not even about Tony Romo. It's just the fact that teams. I don't know if teams will just pass up on picking quarterbacks because quarterbacks is such an important position. I mean, this isn't exactly the plethora of quarterbacks that you're looking at in this draft, but I mean, there are some quarterbacks you could be like, this might turn out to be some good. So people might pick him just because they feel like, oh, he's still available on the board. Maybe I should take him.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying about number 2 pick, picking a quarterback, number 1, number 2 pick, picking a quarterback. I don't know about that. But, I can still see somebody possibly taking a quarterback just because of the fact that, hey, it's just the chance to get the quarterback. And it's like D-Sizzle just commented, he said the Browns could have the first 30 picks and they'll still be crappy.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
that's tragic. And then
I agree with him because you look at this draft class.
Brophy said Fitzpatrick will start somewhere next year. The dude just figured out how to be a utility quarterback. It's crazy. But yeah, he's right. But yeah, go on what you saying.
I mean, you do sign those 30 players in the draft. I mean, a bunch of rookies ain't gonna help you win. It's Cleveland.
I mean, it's Cleveland. So that's the thing. I don't understand how that organization has just become.
It's just like the 76ers. They're the 76ers of the NFL. And Fitzpatrick will play somewhere. I honestly think Fitzpatrick will be,
of course,
a starting quarterback somewhere. But not for the money he's asking for, which is, I mean, you can see that with him.
Nah, he's definitely.
I mean, they're talking to RG3, who has no resume no more. After his injury, he has no resume, and they're talking.
RG3's living off his rookie season.
Exactly.
That's honestly what it is. He's living off his rookie season.
So, like, you're looking at it like, yeah, he showed up good at the Jets, but Brandon Marshall doesn't want him. Like, if you're telling me your star receiver saying, if you don't bring him back, I'm pretty much leaving when my contract's over with. And you're not going to bring him back, something's wrong with you as an organization.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Who knows, man? Who knows? NFL free agency, it just gets crazy. Free agency in general just gets crazy. The NFL free agency has been crazy. The NBA free agency might get crazy this summer. Who knows?
Chris Long, come on to the Jacksonville. We need a defensive end. We're here for you.
Apparently, y'all looking at James Laurinaitis too. But
hey, we'll take everybody.
But
I mean, I don't think we need James Laurinaitis, but that's it.
Middle linebacker.
Paul Podolski.
Yeah, that's true. But guys, it's gonna wrap it up for today's show. It's been KBR Sports, the best sports talk show every 24-hour day, coming to you on WODU Studios, the best in college radio. Check us out on Rabble TV, like so many kind people have today. We appreciate the support. Listen to us on Spreaker and iTunes. You can listen to our podcast on there, and also subscribe to the KBR Sports YouTube channel where you can see our past shows and past segments, just like all the other media outlets I just listed. And also tweet us at our KBR Sports Twitter page at KBR_sports, and we'll read your comments live next show. And we'll also take into account some of your comments for the next show. And also, if you want to join in on the debate for next show, the number to call in is 757-683-4405. So y'all can join in on the debate with us and give us some of your thoughts and opinions if you want your voice to be heard. All right, y'all have a great day.
We out.